What's the correct order to get dressed? Let me ask Maverick.
I'd say 5, 3, 4, and then 1.
5, 3, 4, 1. 5, 3, 4, and then 1. Ooh.
Always.
5, 3. Trousers first.
Always.
5, 3, 4, and then 1.
Yeah.
Guys.
Because the easiest thing to change is the top.
5, 3, 4, and 1.
Yeah, trousers. Oh, what is that? A dress or something? Is that a joke?
No.
Oh no, 5, 3, 4, 1. Yeah, shoes last.
Well, so
But you put your shoes on with
no, I'm just saying. So you didn't fancy number 2?
Yeah, no.
Huh? No.
Isn't that a skirt?
Skirt?
Yeah, that's a skirt. No,
How?
I thought that was the joke. I can't. Oh, is that boxers? Okay, how are you?
Nah. Commando over here, you know. Wow. Nah. I listen. Nuts and denim is crazy, you know. Nah. Just straight nuts to denim. Is that what you're doing?
I did.
Hey,
I
mad.
thought that was like a blouse. I thought that was like the joke or something.
You're moving risky, bruv.
It would obviously be that.
What's that for the easy access?
No, what?
Wow.
It would obviously be, okay, pants, trousers.
Pants, trousers.
Then top, then
Top,
socks, then
then
shoes.
socks. Yeah, I'm saying, yeah, pants. No, I'm saying, what am I going to put on? Yeah, pants. Pants, vest. You get me if I'm wearing instead of a vest. I'm a vest man, innit? Pants, vest. Or, yeah, pants, vest. And then trousers. Yeah. Any man that puts on pants and then like number 2 and then number 3, that's suspect. If you put on a t-shirt in just your pants, then it looks like a mini dress. Mad. You're moving mad. It's crazy. Yeah.
I prefer trousers. Just trousers.
Yeah, put the trousers on. But that's interesting still. Trainers obviously last. There's no option. Trainers are last. Socks are second to last. Sometimes I put on socks first. The cheeky one. You get me? Sometimes I just put the socks on if they're there. If I've laid them out and that, socks might go on. But majority of the time, boxers go on first. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Man them in the gym. Be putting on socks first and that. Naked, towel over there. Do you know what I mean? T-shirt on. Winston, man had 2 opportunities to get decent. Man drew for socks and then the t-shirt. Yeah. He's looking for his hat. Hat and watch and that. Like, yo, brother. Man's moving to the blow dryer. Bro, man's been in the gym and man is blow drying their nuts, bro. Have you ever seen that, cuz? Like, not, like, I don't, but like, man's like, got their thing in and they're blow drying. I'm like, rah. So everyone in there's got to hold their breath. How are you get me? How are you drying your nuts? With that's fucking rude. People ain't got no upbringing, bro.
And then is it the public dryers or is it the...
Yeah, the hairdryer, public hairdryers, like, you know, like at the little stations. And man's like fucking
that's insane.
air conditioning his nuts. And just filtering through the room. That's crazy. Particles and that. That's wildness, man.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen, and happy Saturday. The weekend is finally upon us. Just come on because I thought I'd have a quick rant about the absolute state of broken Britain. And I'm going to start with discussing the absolute shithousery that took place yesterday with Ricky Jones getting a not guilty. You know, this is the same mixed race mongrel that stood on the streets of our capital and called for his political opponents to have their throats slit. but apparently that's not encouraging violent disorder. Now the problem is the jurors, if you look at Snaresbrook Crown Court, the demographics of around that area, it's only 47.9% white British. So there's a very high, strong possibility that the jurors were made up of ethnic minorities who didn't want to see one of their own get prosecuted and put in prison. But it's an absolute disgrace when you consider the fact you've got people like Wayne O'Rourke and Lucy Connolly that are still in prison for hurty words on the internet. They did far less than that mixed race mongrel, yet they've spent considerable amounts of time in prison. It's absolutely disgraceful. And swiftly moving on, we've also saw celebrations on the streets of Manchester and London. But don't worry people, it weren't our lot that were out celebrating, no. Parasitic third world invaders from Pakistan were celebrating their independence as a country, but they're celebrating on the streets of Manchester and London. Make it make sense. And what else did we see this week? Oh yeah, we saw an African migrant enter the house of a blind woman. Her family member then chased him out. She was then arrested and the migrant was sent back to the hotel. And then the Metropolitan Police announced on social media on the Friday, which was yesterday, that the migrant had in fact been arrested. I mean, it's an absolute disgrace. Politicians and the people that are making vast amounts of money from housing these savages have intentionally endangered our communities. We're seeing young mums in Birkenhead on the Wirral being followed, stalked and harassed by Muslim migrants. We're seeing the decline of Britain take place in front of us, and it's absolutely disgraceful, but fear not, because there is hope. I'm starting to detect the shift, especially if you look at all of these Civnat accounts. Months and months ago, they were posting Civnat slot. They're now posting Mosley. It's like we are winning and we just need to keep pushing the Overton window, and we need to not allow the Civnats, the charlatans, the government operatives to steer the conversation back down the safe path of Zionist civic nationalism, because Zionist civic nationalism will lead to us becoming a despised minority in our own homeland. I'm just going to finish the video with this as well. Whilst we all talk about remigration, it is very important to understand what remigration means. Remigration isn't Tommy Robinson's idea of, oh, we'll just deport a few of the asylum seekers, bruv. We'll get rid of the Muslims, or a few of the Muslims, bruv. I want to free the Muslims, bruv. No, it's not about that. It's about deporting millions of people to ensure that we have a homeland, that we have somewhere to call our own. That's why millions of people have to leave. It's not extreme, it's not hard, it's just the plain truth. If you want to remain a majority in your country, then you have to support remigration. Anyway, as usual, make sure you let me know.
Well, that was a lot. Well, yeah, obviously, there's a white dude that's unhappy about a lot of stuff that's going on, you know, when it comes to... where to start, bruv? You just said so much. Okay, let's start backwards. Remigration, he's talking about sending back millions of people. Obviously, he's aware of how much the immigrants and people of this country actually put into this country. I don't think he's really thinking about the economics. The UK would crash with millions of people leaving. It would crash. And it would be a nightmare in the UK. Definitely. It's not something that he's actually thought through. He's using terms like mixed race mongrels, which makes me feel like he's not really happy with interracial relationships or whatever. He seems a bit upset about it. In terms of that guy, I don't know who that guy is that he's talking about that got a not guilty. I don't really care. But the hate that you have towards anything other than white, I mean, it's a very ancient way of being. I understand, man. You're pissed, man. You got black fatigue, brown fatigue. You know what I mean? Your government's shafting you, and you don't know what to do with yourself. So the only thing you can do, because you hate yourself, is just spew hate everywhere you go. I don't know, man. It was a very interesting tirade that he went on. Very interesting, man. I'd love to see how a UK turns out once you've deported millions of people. That'd be interesting. You know what I mean? I want to know what would survive, what would thrive, how would the British people step up to the voids in their economy, the voids in their, you know, even the black economy. It still makes society run. Do you know what I mean? And by black economy, I don't mean black by colour, I mean black by in terms of descriptive terms of the black economy, like being like the shadow economy kind of thing. It's not quite the underworld, but it is the under the table, cash in hand type of stuff that goes on. Do you know what I mean? The unregistered stuff still keeps the money flowing around.
That's it. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like all that shit still makes shit happen. And without it, you know? Yeah, man. Everybody's been given a religion for them to throw themselves into and distract themselves with. You know? Race is one. Religion is another. Science, politics, you know, and all the different variables. People got shit to throw themselves into. Street culture, gang culture. Something to like really take them off the path of actually ever being an elevated or evolved being, and just being used. You just get used by the devil, just to do the devil's work, create the division, keep the division running. You just pawns, whether you know it or not, just pawns. Never actually gonna like create a world that is better for your people. You're just gonna drag them to hell. All of these false prophets and speakers and whatnot. There's loads of them, and it's mad because a lot of them are connected. If you did like a classic type of you know, like a detective board, you figure that, you know, like detective board, and you've got the main picture in the middle, and you've got the spidergram, you know, all the leads and all how people are linked and the lines going from. Trust me, man, all these players, I call them like the social agitators, and there's ranks of them. But you know, you got the P.S. Morgans, you got the Tommy Robinsons, you got guys like this, you got the, you know, Andrew Tates, and there's many other names. Those are just like some bait names, but there's many other names of these people that are, in effect, employed in one way or another, just to keep agitating society with things that are part of an agenda that's bigger than what most people realize. The net is closing in on society. We're wrapping this shit up, you know. Salt, vinegar with that, my friend. Burger sauce. Open laptop. Open laptop. You know what I mean? We're getting to that point, you know. Put the fries in the bag, bruh. We're getting to that point, bro. It's time for the next stage of things. We're wrapping it up. And yes, UK is receiving a large amount of immigrants, illegal immigrants, asylum seekers, and the likes of. Yeah, they're receiving loads. And yes, some people that have migrated over here have done fuckery. And it's very loud. If you're in the UK, that cry is very loud. Oh, these people are coming over and fucking us over. And I'm just like, it's crazy, man, how the tables turn, isn't it? It's crazy how tables turn. Because once, the Great British Empire was famed for going over to other people's lands and fucking shit up. Going as far as to sow salt into the soil to make sure that the grounds would be infertile for generations. Like devious, psychotic, sociopathic schemes to keep people low so that you can benefit. And now chickens come home to roost. Do you know what I mean? I understand why the British public wants, you know, wants things to change. I admire the fact that they actually even awake enough to see what's going on their roads. But just make sure that where all your shit is aimed is in the right sections, because there's human beings behind these numbers and these statistics that you throw around. You know, these token offenders that are, well, he's from here and he's from there and he's black and he's whatever, he's a migrant. Just remember, a bit like when I was speaking earlier about the benefit fraud, when we actually look at statistics of who's committing the heinous crimes among against the vulnerable in this country, it's very easy to point out the dark offenders, the melanated, the brown, the Asian, the Arab, the African offenders. and I'm not co-signing any of them. A wrong is a wrong, and they should be done. A wrong is like, I'm probably more harsh than most people when it comes to what to do with actual offenders of these heinous activities. However, the blanket sweeping the utilizing of your fellow man's fears and ignorances and genuine concerns in order for you to like galvanize power to create like effect, to create kind of things to according to your agenda that has been unbeknownst to the people that you're trying to get the energy from. That's nefarious activity. That's some real wicked evil shit. That's top level manipulation, and that what most of these spokesmen and that's what they do. They just utilize people's fears and ignorances and lower vibrational energy and use it to propel themselves while doing the bidding of forces, whether they know or not. Like this, you're just trying to fulfill some kind of end time prophecies. You're trying to literally create the collapse of these civilizations, and you're not even focusing on your actual enemy. It's all about divide and conquer and separation and division, which is like, why would you deliberately be trying to do that? Why would that deliberately be your agenda? Some people, their hearts are so dark. The concept of living harmoniously with people isn't something you'd want. So these people have been looking for trouble before trouble started. That's the facts. So a lot of them feel vindicated when something happens in the news and it is an Asian or a black man or a Muslim, or they're like, yes, yes, yes. But when it's them, they're pissed because majority of the time it is them doing the crimes and doing the fuckery. They're happy when it is someone other than them, because then they're vindicated. Yeah, I saw an interview the other day. A man was like, yeah, I know our people do madness, and majority of the madness is done by us. But like, we're just saying these crimes are being committed by people that shouldn't even be here in the first place. And I hear that. I hear that. But you can't turn a blind eye to your neighbour that's doing more fuckeries than the trespasser. Yeah, the trespassers, stowaways. We get stowaways. We get 50 stowaways a week. And out of the 50 stowaways, 2 of them do fuckeries. But out of the 100 crew members that are actually here, 80% of us are doing fuckeries. It don't make sense, cuz. Yeah, stowaways are bad. And 2 out of 50 stowaways, they do fuckeries on the ship. Yeah? But out of the 100 actual crew members, 70, 60, 50%, 40%, 30%, it don't matter. As long as that number is way more higher than the stowaways, me being the captain of the ship saying, I just need to focus on the stowaways and not the crew members that do the fuckery in larger amounts, is dumb. It's dumb. It shows a bias. Yes, okay, if we can eradicate the stowaways, then there's 2 less that we have to deal with. I understand that. But still, there's lots of wrong-uns in your crew. Loads. At managerial and higher. Loads of wrong-uns. We know what the government's keeping up with. I just read the thing. The police, 5 of them been 5 victims have been, where we're talking about them being Pakistani Muslim grooming gangs, rare. Those victims have also said police officers have been involved. That's the establishment. So, like, I can't take none of these clowns seriously until they're actually aiming at where the wrong is coming from. I can't, like, if you're just trying to agitate, your little pocket of society that you've been given, you get this group, we'll make sure that you're visible to them, they'll listen to you, and you just fill them with as much hate as possible. Do you know what I mean? I'm telling you, man, most racists are not intelligent. And if they're intelligent, they're not truly racist. They're just manipulators. Some people manipulate the narrative of race or whatever because it suits them, but not because they truly believe in it. And that happens on all corners.